So when I first joined Emirates, I was really surprised about the very strict standards they had. And mind you, before you tell me, why didn't you read or watch videos on YouTube? It was a very new thing because I joined in 2010, so that was a long time ago. I stay there for 10 years, 20 years. Imagine, no, 10 years, and things were a little more laid back then. And they started getting stricter as time went by. Now you have designated image and uniform officers that check your uniform down to other things before the flight. You've got moments where they weigh you. You've got a bunch of different things that weren't really there at first and started to come up later. So just to make sure that you know what you're signing up for when you interview for Emirates or when you're joining Emirates, I am sharing Emirates expectations for their cabin crew when it comes to image and uniform. Are you ready? Let's do this. All right, first of all, your uniform needs to be pressed. And it might seem like a small thing, but trust me, it isn't. And actually, I learned the hard way. I remember that I was very new. It was like, I think it was like within my 6 months of flying, and I was super tired because I was partying a little too much. I was 22, so it cut me some slack. But yeah, I was partying a bit too much, sleeping not that much, and like I almost didn't have time to make sure my uniform was 100%. And the problem was that I washed it at home. That was another thing. So even if it has like, if it looks like you've worn it for like a flight because you haven't ironed it, they will stop you and they will tell you that, you need to iron it. Good thing though is that they actually provide you with a dry cleaning service. So you just go to the laundry and just drop all your uniforms there free of charge, and they will take care of that for you. The next thing that I see a lot of questions about is braces and Invisalign. And unfortunately, you can't wear any of those. I've only seen exceptions regarding these if you have a doctor's note that, because of a health condition that came up after you were hired. But yeah, they actually don't want you to wear them. Another thing you should know is that you are going to have to wear heels if you're a lady. And there are different types of heels for Emirates. Like they have the high heel shoe, and then they have what they call a medical heel, which isn't really a medical shoe. It's just basically, like a lower heel. Those were the ones I used because I'm very tall as it is, and my feet really hurt with the highest one. The higher heel you're going to be wearing, when you sign up for duty, then, when you walk through the airport or headquarters, you're going to be wearing it also throughout boarding. And then after you've taken off, you're going to be changing into your third type of shoe, which is a flat shoe. Those were pretty comfortable, I have to say. They were really comfortable. This is a big one. Tattoos. Can you have tattoos? Do Emirates crew have tattoos? Yes, they do. Your tattoos can be anywhere in your body that is covered by the uniform. So basically anything, up to here, like short sleeve for ladies, and for men, they can have like tattoos that are like sleeves up to here because they have the longer shirts. And then again, for ladies, you can't have anything in your ankles, your feet, and whatnot. And a lot of people do tell me, oh, I have a tattoo. What if I cover it? Yeah, it might serve you well for the interview. But let me tell you, if anyone sees that you have a tattoo in an area where you're not supposed to have a tattoo, maybe up here, or even I met someone who had a tattoo right here in this part, which was covered actually with the watch that you're supposed to wear at all times. But then, during a trainer saw that they had this tattoo here. The makeup she would put on kind of had like faded. And when they saw that, they were sent to their manager and they were fired right away. And the way they see it is that, you're lying to them. I wouldn't risk it. Unless you want to remove it with laser, which you can do, but yeah, kind of sucks. So hair standards. So these are the rules for everyone. While you're working as cabin crew, your hair color has to be 2 tones up or 2 tones down from your natural color. That being said, I have seen blondes going brunettes and brunettes going blonde. I guess when you're there, if you're not caught or if they think that more than 2 tones up or 2 tones down looks good on you, they won't say anything if it looks natural. And regarding hair colors that are, you know, a little more out there, like blue, purple, pink, whatever it is, you can wear those, unfortunately. And actually, a friend of mine who's a supervisor, she had someone on her flight that had washed her hair with, you know, purple shampoo. But this purple hair in particular dyed her hair a little bit into like a lilac type of color. And, you know, everyone was kind of looking at her like, what's going on with your hair? And, you know, they had to write it as a report, you know, to their manager, because that's what they do at Emirates. Like, you have to write stuff so you can, you know, save your butt. Okay, this one is a little bit controversial: facial and body hair. So first of all, for men, when it comes to facial hair, you have to shave. The only thing they do allow is a mustache. But, you know, otherwise you have to be clean shaven at all times. And I think it's important to bring it up because I have seen a lot of the crew I've worked with that, you know, having very sensitive skin and hating the fact that they would have to shave every single time they flew. But yeah, unfortunately, you have to, even if you have a skin condition. I've even seen on flights, you know, crew having to go to the toilet and shave because, you know, it looks like they have a bit of like, I don't know, like a shadow. I don't even know what it's called. And they tell seniors, if you see that, send your crew to shave to the toilet. So yeah. And when it comes to facial hair for women, you can have any, simple as that, meaning, you know, you have to make sure that you wax, whatever it is, laser, whatever it is that you do. But yeah, you can have anything. They actually teach you that during training. That's their standard. And while we're doing hair, let's do body hair. This one is a bit controversial too. So women, this is not for men. This is mostly what they tell you for women. Of course, you would have to, you know, wax, shave, whatever it is, your legs. I remember they told us in training, like, you know, in supervisor training, if one of your customers complains that there's a crew that has a lot of arm hair and they are not comfortable being served by them, you have to ask this crew to put their cardigan on and work on the other side of the cabin, which I thought was a bit insane. I'm not actually surprised that they would get these complaints because the complaints I've had on board are, you know, you have reasonable complaints and just like complaints that I'm like, what the hell? That's something that can happen. Okay, makeup. Makeup is important for ladies because if you like to wear makeup like myself, you're going to be fine. And you may want to skip through this part, but if you don't like wearing that much makeup, you might want to think about this. The minimum requirement for makeup is foundation, eyeshadow, even if it's not too crazy. Like, it doesn't have to be too crazy, actually. It can be just subtle. Mascara, and of course, the beloved red lipstick. And now regarding shades of makeup and whatnot, they will help you during training. They will tell you what shade to wear. To be honest, the one they told me to wear, I thought it was ridiculous. And like with time and as, you know, as I learned how to do my makeup better and I grew up because I was a child almost when I joined at 22, I started changing the shades of color. I realized what I felt more comfortable with and what looked better. And, you know, like I said, I never had an issue with lipstick. I never had an issue with makeup in general because I really like wearing my makeup. But I have seen a lot of crew on board that weren't really comfortable with wearing makeup. And yeah, that's something that it's really a no-no. You have to wear makeup. And I'm sure you're not surprised, but there are also nail standards. For men, clean, short nails, that's it. For ladies, you can have clean, short nails too, but you always have to wear nail polish of some sort. It can be a clear one, or it could also be red, a shade of red that you're comfortable with, but make sure that it's actually red. It can be nude, and it can be French tips, and you cannot not have anything on your nail. You at least have to have clear nail polish. And now to the last one, weight. Before we continue, can I please ask you to like and subscribe just so I know that you actually like this video and I can keep making content like this. All right, let's keep going. The weight thing is a little controversial. In my opinion, it is absolute bull just because of the way in which they check for weight. The way they check for it is that they check your BMI. A lot of nutritionists or doctors don't even go by BMI anymore. You can have a higher BMI and it's because, you train hard and, you have a lot of muscle, you do bodybuilding or whatever, and then you're completely healthy. But they go by this. So if they see that you're over your BMI, then you're not going to pass the check. The instances in which you would be weighed would be when you first join in training. Apparently, you're not weighed then. And if there's any crew watching, if you could just confirm or deny. But from what I heard, the rumors that I've heard, they are weighing people again. They used to weigh them when I first joined, but then they stopped. They are weighing people when they go for their upgrades. I've heard from different pursers that are still working on the line that there's, sometimes they get papers with like small sheets of papers inside of the purser folder, which is the folder with all the information from all the crew that the purser gets when they sign in for a flight. And they get a small piece of paper with like a 1, 2, 3 staff numbers. And those people are basically called in for image and uniform checks. And those checks include weights. What I've seen while I worked there, I did see them, pulling people aside because they see them and they think that their uniform looks too tight. So they either check for the uniform size because it may have gotten smaller, or they just basically, weigh them. And, if they think they're overweight, they may allow you to keep flying. Or another thing that happens that I've seen as well is that they ground you, which means they don't allow you to fly until you lose the weight that they tell you to lose in order for you to be healthy. No comments here. I do understand the aviation industry has gone, by the standards of, looks and whatnot since the beginning of this job. I do get that. I mean, if you've ever watched the series Pan Am, they weigh them and measure them before every flight. That was extreme, but it was like that. And I do know that it does happen a lot in different Asian airlines that are actually more extreme than Emirates. Emirates is actually not that bad compared to other Asian airlines. I mean, if you go there, you have to accept that these are the rules of the game. And that's why I'm super honest about, telling you what it was like when I was there and the information that I occasionally get from people I know who still work there. This is the reality of the job. And it's got its great things and it's got its crappy things. But, if you're willing to accept them, then, it's a pretty cool job to do for a while, in my opinion. But, some people want to do it for the rest of their lives. I have friends who still work there and they're extremely happy. And that's okay too. I hope you liked this video, and if there's anything you'd like to know about, Emirates or what's it like to work there, please drop a comment below. I'll be more than happy to, reply to your comments, and give you as much information as I can. And that's it. I'll see you next time.